Today I'd like to talk about how to create free or paid online webinars using Google Plus Hangouts and Eventbrite. Okay, so if you haven't heard already, I am going to be hosting a free online webinar on Tuesday, March 17th called Evernote Basics. And I am doing this webinar completely through Google Plus Hangouts. But as you know, Google Plus Hangouts are great, but there's no built-in registration system to Google Plus Hangouts. So what I want to do is I want to show you the entire process of creating a Google Plus Hangout. Now, if you are interested in attending Evernote Basics, I will have a registration link in the video's description for this course. It is free to register. We're having great interest in this course. Definitely check it out. Again, link will be in the video's description. But let's go ahead and get started with creating everything we need to create. So I'm over on my YouTube, and I'm going to go into my Creator Studio. Now, the first piece in the whole setup process is we have to have the Google Plus Hangout. Without the Google Plus Hangout, we are not able to do anything with Eventbrite, essentially, because Eventbrite's going to be the mechanism of delivering the link to the Hangout, if that makes sense. So it's all got to link back to our YouTube channel, so let's go ahead and set that up. I'm going to go to my video manager. I'm going to pop down to live video, or live events. Now you can see I've got 2 already scheduled. That's fine. We're just going to go ahead and create a test event. So we're going to create a new live event. And we're just going to say test live webinar. And let's say this webinar was going to be on the 19th at 1 p.m. And we're going to make it for about an hour. So here's where you would add your description, your tags, you know the standard procedure. Now here's the key. Make sure you select Quick using Google Hangouts on Air and change the listing to unlisted. This way, the only way they will be able to view the webinar is if they have pre-registered through the link in the confirmation email that they will receive from Eventbrite. Once you've done that, go ahead and create event. And there we have it. So now, let's pop in to the event itself. And you will see right away, you're going to see a countdown. Now that's going to go away once you start broadcasting, so don't worry about that. But let's go ahead and copy this link. That link is going to be crucial in setting up the whole registration process. Now we're going to pop over to Eventbrite, and I'm going to go ahead and create an event. So the first thing it's going to ask me to do is give it a name. So we're just going to give it the same name I gave the YouTube video. Test webinar live. Location. Now, if you are doing a seminar or something like that where you're going to a physical location, you can type that in. But go ahead and just click online event. Go ahead and change your date and time. If you have a logo that you'd like to upload, I highly encourage it. We're not going to bother with that just for the sake of time. If you want to include links to your Facebook and Twitter, that is where you would go ahead and do it. But now, here's the crucial part. This is where the registration piece comes in. We're going to go ahead and create a free ticket, and we're going to go ahead and call it Test Webinar Registration. You have to create a name for the event. Now we're going to change it so it doesn't say ticket, and it will say event registration and set the quantity. I always default it to 1,000. That way I know how many I'm going to have at a max. And once I've surpassed that, if I know I can take more, in this system you can, but I just like to start off with 1,000 and add them if I need them. Here's where you set the privacy. I always set it to public page when I'm doing these because I want anybody to join. I don't care where you're coming from. If you find the event and you're interested in taking it, definitely click there. Then you select your type of event and you select your topic. Then you click choose a design. Now I always use the second one. You can pick whichever one you want. That's just the one I like. Click save. And now you should have the third tab, which is manage. Manage will allow us to do a couple more things. Number one, we're going to pop into the order form. We're going to say each attendee. We're going to go ahead and turn off home address, and we're not going to require the last name. They can include it, but we don't need it. And if you wanted to create an additional question that's not predefined, you can go ahead and create those as well. Like in the Evernote Basics, I asked for the skill level of your Evernote use. I set that up as a custom question. That's not a stock question. Any registration options you want to set up, I don't have those set up. Allow will call pickup. That is if you are like a theater or something like that where you have an area where they can pick up their tickets day of. Because we're an online event and we're not going to be using tickets, we don't need to worry about that. We're going to allow attendees to edit information after registration. Not necessary because all it's going to allow them to do is see the email address. Through the email they will be receiving. And accept refunds. If you are doing a paid event, I would highly recommend leaving that on. It's a free event. I'm not going to worry about doing refunds. So I'm going to click save. Let's go down to order confirmation. Now, here is the key to this whole system. If this is not set up right, the entire system does not work. Right here is the default reply to address. You can change that to whatever you want. But right here, attachments. Attach PDF ticket in confirmation email. Again, we're not going to be using tickets for this, so go ahead and just uncheck that box. And then down here, you can type whatever you want. Welcome to this webinar. Thank you for registering. Then I always do webinar, link, paste. Now that is linked up, and I can even go, and it will be clickable in the email, or they can copy paste it. Obviously you would spend a little bit more time on this than I am, but I would do the same thing. Webinar, link, and save. The key there is make sure that link is pasted in. I don't worry about event types and language or wait lists. Once I've done all of that, I'm going to go ahead and make the event live. That will unlock a couple more settings that we need in order to finish this up. And that last setting is emails to attendees. This is how I set up that follow-up email. It will automatically send the reminder to the participant 48 hours in advance. You can go in and modify that email, I'm pretty sure. Or if you don't like the one it's going to use, you can create your own. That's what I usually do about 1 hour before the event. I just create my own email, schedule it for 1 hour prior, and we are good to go. And then I do one 10 minutes after the end of the live broadcast. Now, that one can get a little tricky if you go a little over. But most of the time, I try and keep my main presentation to an hour because I know people have other things they need to get done, and I don't want to take up too much of their time. So I do try and keep my core presentation to an hour. Usually if I go over, it's because of questions, and those are the people that I know have stayed behind. And because everything's recorded through that Google Plus Hangout, I'm safe. So now, all I have to do is go back to this event dashboard, and if I scroll down, there's a link right here. I can go ahead and copy that and paste it into whatever feeds I want to post it in. So if I want to include it as a YouTube link, I can do that. I can post it on Facebook, Twitter, wherever the case may be, I can share that out. And then, on the day of the event, what I do is I go to my video manager, I go to my live events, and I click Start Hangout on Air. That will open a pop-up window, and it will be a Google Plus Hangout, and you just click Start Broadcast, and it will start broadcasting right to the page. There's no having to select a webinar, and all that IT stuff is already taken care of. It's all preset to that event. So, that is it. That is how I create my free online webinars. I hope this was useful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!